You're listening to a Count Out Podcast.
So, Curtis, who's got two thumbs and isn't up to date on the New Japan fucking Best of the Super Juniors? It your boy! I know we were going to cover everything up to date, but life has been a fucking shit show. So I've seen a lot of it, and I'm enjoying it a lot. And I was going to try and shotgun it until the wee hours yesterday. And then I was like, that's not what it's about. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, face. That's not what Okada Shorts is about. Okada Shorts is about two friends enjoying the coolest shit about New Japan. And if I shotgun those matches while I'm near death of tiredness, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I didn't do it. So fuck you, Curtis.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck me, obviously.
Sorry,
like,
no.
The thing is, you start sending me pictures. It's you, your beautiful wife, all of your lovely friends. You're out. I see a yardstick full of beer. What the fuck was that? It looked like a prop out of a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the original He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren and that time travel stick thing they've got. Yeah, that was like, I don't know. It was just called a beer tower. But that was after
exactly
all the cocktails. And yeah, we went to this place in Perth called Milky Lane, which does like novelty giant burgers, like the kind of shit that's going to kill you. It does like candy shots. So like we had like warhead shots and nerd shots. Like, do you have warheads in America? And
sure do.
Yeah, exactly. Like spicy warheads and grape nerds and things like that. And then I had like a fried chicken burger, add deep fried mozzarella patty. Like it was debaucherous.
Bro.
Yeah, and
I was so jealous when you sent me the picture of those like macaroni and cheese fritters with the dipping sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, let me tell you, my heart seized up a little bit, and my stomach reached out towards my phone trying to grab it. That looks so good.
Trying to book a flight to Australia to come and eat it. I'll tell you what did seize up my arteries. But luckily we don't live far from there, so we had to walk home. Like we walked there on purpose because we're going to need to walk this off. So I think I'll add that to sleep. But yeah, I was thinking about
You're going to need a lot more walks to get that shit worked off.
I know, right? I was like, what I should be doing, watching Best of the Super Juniors, what I am doing, eating this giant burger. So that's where we're at. But I've seen quite a bit. I've seen like the first 3 events. I don't think I'm all the way through the third one. I'm not sure of my numbers. You'll run down sort of the matches and stuff, and I'll remember what I remember. But it's been great, man. It's been great. There's been some upsets I didn't expect already. I'm loving it. How you feel about it?
I'm having so much fun watching Best of the Super Juniors. I sat down and watched everything through today, and it's the tournament's giving me some crazy vibes. I've got some new favorites. I'm fully locked in on a couple of new guys, and yeah, man, I feel I feel so alive. You know, like we've been saying, oh, New Japan's back. Like, no, New Japan is fucking back, bro.
Yeah,
like get in now.
Get in.
We're fucking to the moon, bro.
Yeah, like that
Japan coin to the moon,
like that RuPaul song. To the moon. That's us.
Oh, that's right. Is that what she says?
Yeah.
I hear it at the end of every fucking
won't you
episode.
take
My wife
me away? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Banging show.
Great show.
Banging show. I once I put out a tweet not that long ago, and I'm like, if it's not about deathmatch or drag race, miss me with that shit.
That's right. Deathmatch or drag race. Well, I mean, it's not all deathmatch. It's just pro wrestling or drag race, right?
Well, at the time when I was saying that, New Japan was not back, and I needed to find hope in wrestling somewhere, and I did within the realms of deathmatch wrestling.
That's fair.
Which has been popping off.
Completely fair. I understand
as well. I haven't had a chance to watch Taka Taichi Mania, but that's one that I've got circled and that I really want to see.
That shit was wild, bro.
Have you watched it?
I have. I won't ruin it for you. I'm sure you've seen the pictures of Despy afterwards and things like that.
I love Deathmatch Despy. I love that half Doki mask that he has. Like,
yes,
yeah, it's fire. So yeah,
he's
and
just
apparently
such a beautiful human being.
Yeah, exactly. They're I do know that, like, I saw the clip where Jun Kasai was essentially, if you'll verse me in another match, please accept this rose. Very sweet. And Despy did. So they're going to have a singles, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they will down the line. Of course, Jun Kasai and Despy have such a weird history. And then like the giving the rose thing, which is like used to be Despy's thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Like when he first, God.
Yeah.
What a beautiful amount of storytelling goes into these like little offshoots that nobody like really gets to watch.
It's crazy. I also didn't know until that speech that Jun Kasai considered Honma his senpai, which was interesting.
Really?
Yeah, because he said in the thing, he goes, like, he basically said it was good to wrestle with senpai again. There you go.
I didn't know that.
I know Honma has like a history with death matches and stuff like that. I think he was the first. There's various reports of it, but I think he was the first guy to use a fluorescent tube in a match.
Really?
Yeah.
Innovator.
I think he pulled it down from a light fixture, like in like a brawl in a hallway or something, and wasted somebody with it, and then it became like the staple in deathmatch wrestling.
It's just such an awesome visual. I mean, like people are taking it way over the top now, but like I'm sure the first time that happened, people were like, "Went absolutely fucking shithouse."
Yeah, exactly. It's the best weapon. It's like, it looks so cool. The like spooky dust, as they call it, like the smoke that comes out of them, the noise it makes. It's just it's the coolest.
Yeah, and the fact that it just turns to just turns to fairy dust in your hands the second you hit someone with it.
Yeah, it just
gone. The whole thing just evaporates.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
We'll have to do some more deathmatch coverage on here. Maybe when that match happens, we'll definitely have to review it and talk about it. That would be awesome. I would love to see Jun Kasai in New Japan. Though they wouldn't have him doing deathmatch wrestling, I've always thought he would be a sick choice for a Suzuki Gun or like an LIJ. It's like just this crazy member of the team.
It would have to be Suzuki Gun like a couple of years ago when they were still like shitbag heels, you know? He would have fit in so well then.
Yeah. He's a great face though as well, because everybody just loves him. Yeah, totally. He's like the hero of freedoms and shit. Like everybody loves him. But he's also good at being evil too. It's kind of hard in deathmatch because everybody's everything.
I've never watched any of his other stuff, so like seeing that, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, totally.
This guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah, everybody like absolutely loves him. So yeah. Anyway, a little bit of Jun Kasai talk. But the best of the Super Juniors kind of is sort of everything I wanted from the tournament. You know,
damn right.
There's some matches though, like you know how the second one, once they start going to the gyms and stuff, that's part of New Japan's touring schedule, but it always bums me a little bit because they don't look as good, and I end up looking at a match like Robbie Eagles and Wheeler Yuta, and I'm like, man, if this was like well lit and shit, like it would be something that everybody would be talking about, on the internet. Like it would be huge. And I still think it was a huge deal, and we won't get too far away from, where we're up to in our conversation. But you know what I'm saying? It sort of takes away from it. And I love going to those shows when I've been in Japan and stuff. It's like really fun. But wrestling needs to happen in the dark. You know what I mean? Like when it's in like a big, brightly lit gymnasium, it sort of feels a little bit more amateur.
I guess that's the aesthetic of it, like in those big brightly lit gymnasiums where they can't like bring the full rig, where they can't, have the big signage and things like that. It kind of does look a little bit off, with especially like they don't even have they don't even have the security guardrails around and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of weird, but I like it. It feels more, what's the word? Homey. Like, you everyone's there for like the show, you know. It's like going to a rock concert when you see a big show, but then like when you see these smaller ones, it's like seeing a band that you love inside of a little club.
That's
I dig
fair.
that. And the vibe maybe isn't there. Like, you're, of course, they're still not screaming yet or anything like that, but like I feel like going to see the smaller shows, you'd have that sort of earthy atmosphere. You'd have that sort of like seeing the big band in the tiny club.
Yeah,
You know?
it definitely has that vibe when you go, and all the wrestlers, like, they have tables set up with all their merch, and all the wrestlers are like lined up along it, and it's very intimate, and all that sort of vibe. It just sort of takes away from, like, I guess, the worldwide sort of expectation of like what, I guess, high end wrestling looks like, or a professional wrestling event. So I definitely enjoy them. I just think that, like, sometimes it suffers when you're dealing with a tournament on this scale, and then you're going to play back the clips of like a banger like that, and it's in like a well lit gym rather than like darkness with like the right lighting and stuff. It doesn't look quite as cool.
It's significantly less impressive, but I think the touring audience really appreciates it. I'm sure they do.
love it.
They have to.
And I love that, like, everybody's there for the wrestling. They're not really there for the spectacle. They're there to see the matches, which is really cool.
Yeah, and you can really tell in that second show. We won't get to it just yet,
yeah.
but you could tell that a lot of those people were loving what they were seeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, you want to get to the first day's show?
Yeah. Let's run it down.
All right. Well, let's go. The very first show was Ace Austin versus Clark Connors to open the A block. This was the fourth match of the day. It went 9 minutes 51 seconds, with Ace Austin winning with the fold. What were your impressions of seeing Clark Connors for the first time in this big singles tournament?
Yeah, he's been killing it just on like social media and in his fashion game and all that stuff. So everybody was already talking about him, and then he's come in. They've put him. They obviously think highly of him. They've put him with Impact's champion as like his first match that he's gonna go through. And I really liked it. I thought they were great together. I thought it was cool. I have seen Ace Austin stuff before, but not sort of in this context, and I thought it played out. I really like Clark Connor's moveset, man. I love, like,
Clark Connor's moveset, the very like fast, deceptive, and powerful, and I love that. He can just strike out of nowhere and hit you with his entire body.
Yeah, just like the tackles. I think he calls it a Jeep flip at the moment or something like that, when he just like goes to the side and then comes out and just completely wrecks them off the side, and then the his big spears and things like that, and just his aggression over and all. I think it's really cool. He's got such an upside for me, man. Like, it's huge.
I love his new look too. Like, he comes out looking like something out of Crocodile Hunter, and so badass with the like Tarzan trunks and stuff like that. It looks much cooler than when he first became the Wild Rhino Clark Connors. When he first graduated, he had a very like, his trunks kind of looked like the shirt some dude would go play golf in. Like, it just looked like a polo shirt, but in trunks form.
Okay.
And I was just like, I don't get it, man. You're the Wild Rhino.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my colors are like cream and gray. Yeah. And I've got a little red mark on the lapel.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's a weird choice. I wonder where the Wild Rhino thing came from. I wonder if he chose it or if he was just given it and then it took him a like hot second to sort of really think about it. And now he started to embrace it. I like that the trunks and stuff are like, look like rhino hide. And then like, he's got that, if you see his merch, he's got like a flat brim on the New Japan shop and stuff. And it's just like the horn symbol. Like, it's like, it kind of looks like, two mounts or whatever, but slightly on an angle. It's just the horn anagram type thing. And then, starting to wear like the hats and the vests and naming moves after hunting stuff and that. He's starting to like really catch a vibe with it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really dig where Clark is going. And I mean, like you said, his fashion game, can't even fuck with it. Best dressed of the Super Juniors, easily.
And like, nobody normally like outdresses like a Bushi or something like that. So everybody was talking about his fashion. There was a gentleman, I can't remember his handle, but we shared it on our Twitter. If you want to check it out, he had posted a photo of Clark Connors when he was like a young lion, and it was like, Shibata-san, I'm ready to go to Japan. And he's like, not like that you aren't. And then he's like, how about now? And in that white suit, and it was like, yas, bitch, slay. And like, which prompted
Clark
my
Connors
wife.
as sex cowboy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it prompted my wife to make that amazing TikTok that it has the voiceover where it goes, would you rather never slay again, or would you like to slay so much every day that slaying loses all meaning?
Loses all meaning.
It was so good. But yeah, so yeah, and I feel like he's making the most of his opportunity. You know, he's going there as a newly graduated young lion. We talked about our best case scenario would be him winning. That's probably not realistically going to happen, but he's going to go out there and be noticed as much as he possibly can and have people talking about him. And then the next time he rolls back, you know, it'll be a bigger deal.
I think so. This was such a fun match to watch, mostly because Clark is so deceptive and Ace Austin is so agile that he can hit you from any angle.
Yeah.
Like he's constantly like changing his area of attack and his angle of attack. And it's so fun to watch. Like Clark is running around like mad, and then Ace is like coming at him at like from underneath and then up above. And it was so much fun. The parkour training of Ace Austin really showed through in this match too.
And Clark is good at that, like changing angles on people when they're running the ropes and then hitting them on a thing. So yeah, it literally felt like that. The whole match was just like all the angles all at once, which was really cool. And like Ace Austin's kicks and stuff, like, you know, from low and from thing, like, yeah, it was a really cool match to open the entire tournament.
Definitely was. And one thing I did notice with Ace Austin is that he had the same spots in his second match. So like the handstand on the ring apron and things like that. He's pulling out a lot of those same spots in the two matches. I'm really kind of hoping that that's not a trend that continues, because I like what I'm seeing from him, and I don't want it to kind of become like a paint by numbers, copy paste sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, considering the talent that he's got coming up are very, very different wrestlers.
Yeah.
So maybe when his opponents change their style, he will change his style a little bit.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see what happens.
He might as well be like, this is my very first time in Japan. I'm going to play the hits a little bit at the start, just so, you know, people start to vibe him out and know his sort of signatures.
Yeah, that's probably where he's going with it. He's like, I'm Ace Austin. This is me. Here's what I can do. And then, you know, if he finds another gear later on, he can pull that out for one of the big matches. Say perhaps a block final or something like that.
Also, I guess sort of the story can start to be as well, especially when, you know, you start to wrestle those bit more crafty wrestlers and guys that are a bit more experienced, is they start to know your tricks, right? They've been scouting the previous matches. Next match, he goes through that handstand thing, and then somebody's got something for it. And then the story is, it's like, okay, he's been going to the well too much. If he wants to change things up and go further in the tournament, he's going to need to adapt. And, you know, maybe the story is that he's not quite there yet. Because, I mean, I don't think he's going to win the tournament. But, we laid out a scenario last episode where he does, and that would be pretty interesting. But I'm not sure that's going to happen.
So the second match, we had Alex Zane defeating Yoshinobu Kanemaru in 11 minutes, 31 seconds with the Cinnamon Twist. Can I tell you, you were 100% right, and I fucking love Alex Zane.
You know what's crazy? Like, we were talking about his ridiculous look, right? Japan has fallen in love.
Madly in love.
Look. He's like the new heartthrob. You're seeing, if you go to Alex Zane's social media, he's like on there and just posting like fan art of like Japanese people drawing him as anime characters, as like, you know, different face things and stuff. And when you see him as an anime character, you're like, that is the look. That is what he is. He's like a space pirate type thing. And they're like living for it, man. And I think he he's going to be a big deal after this tournament. No matter how far he goes, I could see them just going, move him to the junior division in Japan. Like, just put him in.
After 2 matches, I was like, don't let this guy go anywhere else.
No,
like
exactly. And they lost him once to WWE. Surely they're like, nah, we need to like lock this down.
Exactly. How did they let him go already once? He was on Strong a couple of times and then, dipped out for what Chris Charlton called a learning excursion in the WWE. Love
that. That was the shadiest line of the entire
tournament.
Yeah.
I pumped my fist when he said that.
It was so funny. But like, I suppose you got to remember as well the timing. Like, that was when WWE signed Alex Zane. It was in the very early stages of Strong and also in peak COVID. So if you're Alex Zane as well, even if you weren't all the way super in love with the WWE product or you want to do more stuff with Japan, it would have been very tempting to just go, I need to take some financial stability for a while. Otherwise, I'm just going to be working at Taco Bell anyway, to pay my rent. So, and then he got to go to WWE. He put on more size. He's learnt more training stuff. He's really polished his sort of game. Got a really ridiculous look because of it, I guess, but he's changed it up and it's literally working for him. The commentators are even loving talking about him. They're loving calling all his funny Taco Bell moves and things like that. He's going to be huge in Japan, man. He's going to be huge.
I can tell you right now, as a lifelong Taco Bell fan, as a former Taco Bell employee of 3 years, I spent 3 years I spent making these fucking tacos. Every time they were like, there's the Crunch Wrap Supreme, I was like, yes. I love every one of these. The Baja Blast, the Crunch Wrap Supreme. I was fucking dying, dude. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
And it's not a work. He loves Taco Bell like for a shoot. I met him at the Tokyo Dome, at the TGI Fridays at the Tokyo Dome, and I met a few people there. I met Lance Archer, briefly met Kevin Kelly, ever so briefly. But when I was speaking to him, he's just super nice guy. And afterwards, we go back and forth on Instagram a couple of times, and Japan had released a Taco Bell sort of special called the Chick Star, which was, I guess it's kind of like a Crunchwrap Supreme. It's like a folded parcel type thing, but I think it had fried chicken and something different. I don't know. But I posted about it, and he was like, what is that? He was so mad that, he couldn't get it. He'd already gone back to the States, and they didn't have it in the States. It was a Japan-only thing. He loves it.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, I could eat Taco Bell every day for my entire life and never get tired of it. I mean, I ate it for 3 years straight, obviously, but, they say when you work somewhere, you never want to eat at that place again. My mom will not eat at fucking Pizza Hut because she just hates Pizza Hut because she worked there when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Not me, bro. And we've only got 8 Taco Bells in the UK, so I gotta make it a plan to go to Taco Bell when I want to. I go on my birthday and shit.
Loves it. Star employee. Never would have left if hadn't had to move to the UK. You'd be running that company now.
Oh, man, I'd be like, John Taco Bell, nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, it says here that he won with the cinnamon twist. So
the cinnamon twist, indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
What a name for... I'm sorry, I just picked up my phone and I saw the picture of Ioz from Pirates of Darkwater that I sent you. This is Alex Zane.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen that yet, before, the first mate on Pirates of Darkwater he's Alex Zane. He's got the twisty mustache. He's got the pirate aesthetic. He's got a ponytail in the front of his head.
Yeah.
Just like Alex Zane said.
Yeah. I thought I didn't know so where that picture was from, but I was like, that is him though.
But yeah, I swiped the wrong way on my results here. Okay. The next match was...
Oh, by the way, it was a good match. I always love Kanemaru in these kind of tournaments. So
Yeah. Shorts, definitely. Shorts for both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good. Next match was Francesco Akira making his singles tournament debut against the Murder Machine Show. Francesco wins in 11 minutes 49 seconds with the Fireball, which I thought was a really cool finisher. What do you think of your first taste of Francesco Akira?
Yeah, it was interesting that he was paired up with Show to begin with, because from the very first second, even though United Empire are sort of bad guys, he was immediately positioned as like a babyface in peril straight away. Like the very first thing that happens, he comes out, he gets up on the ropes, and then Show attacks him from behind, and then he's fighting from underneath for like quite a lot of it. And then they sort of get the best of him because Show goes to grab the wrench, but TJP's on the outside. He just takes it away. He doesn't interfere.
I thought that was a great move.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just removes it, and he's like, "Sorry, mate." And then Francesco fucks him up. I liked it. I think there was some like innovative moves in there from him. I was feeling like I need to see more to really understand the full thing, because he spent a lot of it just sort of getting beat up by Show, But yeah, I was just surprised that they positioned him like as such a sort of good guy. Like I was immediately thinking that down the road, out of the United Empire, he's the Robbie Eagles. You know what I mean? Like when you think about Bullet Club when Robbie Eagles was in it, you're like, this is the guy that's going to eventually turn and find the light, sort of thing. So I was immediately thinking of that with him, And when you position him next to TJP, though they're like all buddy and stuff like that, you're like, TJP's the guy that's going to stab him in the back, and then it'll be what it is.
It definitely could be. I mean, TJP, like as talented and fun to watch as he is, like people innately don't like him because of, this, that, or the other thing. So when you have someone like Francesco Akira and you're trying to like put him next to TJP, people are going to feel one way or the other about it. So
yeah,
I don't know. I love this. I love this match. Show has been really good this tournament. I've had so much fun watching his matches. This one specifically was great for that little spot where, he's got the opening. He's going to go for the wrench. Oh shit. Can't get the wrench. TJP grabbed it. I audibly cackled when I saw that. I thought that was so much fun.
Such a simple solution
Yeah.
to his cheating.
Yeah. And it's just like Kevin Kelly said, as long as these guys can start to adapt, can start to play the game, they don't look like dorks, everything's going to be fine. Absolutely. And that was just them playing the game. Like they're heels. They know what the heel's going to do, and they stopped they just won the chess game a little bit.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Great. I thought it was super fun match. Shorts also. I loved one spot I wanted to call out was Francesco Akira coming out with a Zippo lighter bling on his necklace.
Yes.
Money. Absolute money.
That's cool.
Cool as hell.
Yeah. They're already where Japan likes the gimmicks like that, right? They were like, okay, Jay White, knife pervert. Francesco Akira, fire pervert.
Show, wrench pervert.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the vibe they want.
And I just shout out to Show's fucking evil gamer music. Like,
I love it.
It's probably my favorite theme right now. I love it so much. It's such a good time.
I've actually been thinking of a remix of that for you. I'll send it through later. I've been meaning to make it.
Oh, beauty. Right on. Yeah, that was a good time. Anything else from that match you want to specifically call out?
Nah, dude. I enjoyed it though. Oh. It was short, and I think Show could win this block, I reckon. By the time it's all said and done.
Definitely could. Yeah. He definitely could. I mean, we called it out in our predictions episode that like he's someone that nobody's really talking about, but they do like to push the House of Torture.
Yeah,
could be a thing.
Yeah, and he's like the main dastardly guy in that block. He's the heel of the block. So
yeah. And I think him and Despy could probably put on a good like finals for us and be entertaining as shit. That'd be great.
And he's also the guy as well that you can have him beat champions and stuff in the block, but not have them lose any face because he obviously cheated and they got robbed and stuff like that. And he just, eked his way through. And so everybody's sort of safe,
Right. So the next match was Ryusuke Taguchi losing to Hiromu Takahashi in 10 minutes 42 seconds with the unnamed Hiromu roll, which they kept the name. I'm so glad they kept the name unnamed Hiromu roll.
Suits him so much.
This was fun. It was weird to see like after you have all these new people showing up and doing all these crazy things, and then you've got Taguchi and Hiromu again, and I was just like, oh yeah. you just want to see all the new stuff so that the old stuff doesn't feel as exciting as it could be. But I mean, Taguchi had his, he had a good match. It was fun. It wasn't an automatic fast forward like it is for a lot of people. I just thought that like after the debut, a match we've seen a million times, it just kind of felt like a letdown for a semi-main.
Yeah, maybe the positioning of the match sort of hurt it a little bit. Maybe it could have been like earlier in the card, and then it wouldn't feel like sort of like the letdown. And it wasn't. Like, they're good wrestlers and stuff. But like you're saying, you're spoiled. There's all these new people. There's exciting things happening. You're seeing new move sets. It's new talent in Japan, which we haven't seen in a long time. It's natural to be like, okay, we've seen Taguchi before. We know he's not going to win it. He's probably going to have his pants down at some point, whatever. Like, that was the vibe I sort of had with it. And I tried to give it attention, but I was just... And then, like, I like the unnamed Hiromu role, but I don't see why Hiromu needs to be narrowly rolling up Taguchi. I think he could be, like, putting Taguchi away pretty fucking cleanly, to be fair.
I mean, he didn't have to use one of his finishers. He used, like, a roll-up finisher that, I mean, I'm sure if he wanted to, he could have just pulled out of that finisher and fucking slapped a time bomb 2 on him or something like that and put him down. But like, you don't want to do that to Taguchi. You don't have to do that to Taguchi. You can just roll him up, job done.
Exactly. I suppose he is the tag team like one of the tag team champions. So it would be pretty brutal if Hiromu was just, defiantly destroying him. You know what I mean? Just time bomb 2, just like the list of all the moves, and it's just like, okay, does Hiromu want both tag titles or no?
he's gonna grab Wado.
He's just gonna take them both. It's fine. Yeah, cool.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah,
then,
if we're doing shorts and pants for everyone, I'd probably give that one pants. I could probably miss it. I've seen them wrestle before.
Yeah, it's nothing to really write home about. It probably shouldn't have been the semi-main, but I mean, they didn't know what they had with Alex Zane.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, that's true. Also, I'm going to be like sort of hard on this stuff because the way I look at it is I have lots of shit on in my life. I was very busy. I've only got so much time to watch wrestling. So if I was recommending to somebody, like, I want to come in and watch some good wrestling matches, what should I watch in Best of Super Juniors? I would skip it myself. So it's only going to get shorts if I'm like, make time to see it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
right.
Pants on that one. And then
next up is the Rafe Bowl. This is the match that I know they scheduled just for you, buddy. I know that they said, what does Rafe want to see? I know what Rafe wants. Rafe wants Yo versus Taiji Ishimori
in double speed on his lunch break, barely paying attention.
For a 16-minute match where Taiji Ishimori does a fucking like a limb match against Yo, who you absolutely love. I know you loved, and you hated seeing him in peril. You hated seeing him having to work through getting his arm broken again and again by Taiji Ishimori.
Why would anybody care? Why would anyone? Even the commentary were like, yeah, he was kind of like, I hope I do all right in the tournament. Why? He's like, and he needs people to get on his side. He needs to be careful. He's going to like alienate the fans and stuff. We alienated. We don't care about this dude. I don't care. Like,
I think
it almost made me like Taiji Ishimori. I was like, fucking get him. I was like, season ender, put him out with an injury. Let's have something exciting and bring in an alternate. Like, yeah.
Yeah, put in Oiwa or something.
How are you? Let me tell you this. I know he's got the belt. But in what world of fuck do you think out of all those banger matches that this can headline the show? If I was at the event, I would have watched Hiromu and our boy Taguchi and then gone home. Like, I wouldn't have even bothered watching it. I would have gone, oh, what is it? Oh, Taiji and Yo. Cool, I can get early on the train. Like, that's how I would have looked at it. Like, I don't give a fuck, man.
I think this Yo, this Yo character that he's working, I think it is just that. I think it's just a character. This aloof and uncaring and uncharismatic. Because the dude's got charisma.
Like, vinyl elite. Like, what's that merch? I sent you that picture, like, of his fucking new merch. One is of him Like a stick figure him sitting on a couch listening to a stereo or something or watching TV. And then the other is like, it says direct drive. And I thought that was like some kind of maybe like cool drifting reference or something like that. No, he's talking about the fucking mechanism that powers his vinyl record player. It like shows you like the schematics of a record player. And I'm like, what are these shirts? Things Yo would rather be doing than wrestling? Like, I fucking...
Those shirts are absolute cheeks, dude. They are so terrible.
So fucking... And he's like, and you know what?
But
I'm going to release them in white. Just the thing that pudgy wrestling fans want to wear. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking wash. Like, I don't know.
Every time I go to put on a white t-shirt, I'm like, oh man, look at my love handles.
It just ain't it, bro. Like, I'm getting so mad. Why are they actively, like, either he has, like, I don't know, fucked Gato's wife, and he's like, this is your gimmick now, vinyl elitist, or he's like, this is it, boys. I know what I need to be, and I'm going to get all the other, I don't know, dickheads on, like, snowboarding, record-loving fucking musicians on my side. Like, guess what? Those people don't watch wrestling, man. They don't watch it. They don't care about it, and they don't care about you. So I'm fucking pissed off. I don't know why he exists, and I'm mad that I have to watch him in this tournament at this stage.
This is Yo proving that he can be a better heel than Sho can.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a heel turn. Maybe it's like a slow burn heel turn. Like, I'm going to piss everybody off with how bad I am.
Working everybody.
That would be if it's the longest fucking game of all time. Of like, he's like, they won't turn me heel. I'll show them heel work. Now, guys, this is what I want to be. And it's like, everyone's going to fucking hate me. Then, you know what? Respect to him. Respect to him. And if it comes back around and he turns out to be the biggest heel in New Japan, like, I'll probably be his biggest fan at that point. But at this stage, I just can't with it. I just cannot.
Well, we're going to mark that. We're going to mark that down. See, on the predictions board, if Yo and it turns this somehow into an evil character, and we'll see if Rafe eats his words on this. I'm going to mark it down. It is 2:16 a.m. or I'm sorry, no, hold on, 1:36 a.m. I was looking at the screen cap. 1:36 a.m. on the 20th of May, and our man Rafe has taken a stance on Yo, but I think he's going to change his mind. I think he will.
Well, I like I said, I'm always open to it. Wrestling can always win me back over, but at this stage, I'm like, this fucking dude, man. And like, what's that promo about? I'll do my best. Sit down.
Joe, I'll do my best.
You want to talk people into the building, or you fucking want to go home, man? Like, maybe he just wants to be out of his contract. Like, I don't know.
It's so funny when you see like Clark Connors showing up as Sex Cowboy.
Yeah.
And you see El Lindemann. Did you see El Lindemann's promo?
Loved it. Loved El Lindemann's promo.
Was on fire.
Yeah.
El Lindemann was the best.
He's just so pumped, and he's like, I'm gonna do it. He just let's go and sing.
He's like, let me fucking tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
Like, comes out like fucking
the most tanned
Fire Marshal
man
Bill
I've
from
ever
In Living
seen.
Color, just like, let me show you something.
I loved it. And he's got his huge title that's bigger than him, and he's like, thank you to everybody, and he's like, I'm gonna kill it. Like, yeah, it was awesome.
The G-Rex title.
Great name for a title. Yeah.
Rad.
I'm obsessed. How do I watch GLEAT? Because that's what I'll be doing instead of watching Yo matches.
Oh, dude. So the start of night 2, El Lindemann versus Doki, 9 minutes, 21 seconds. Doki wins with Suplex de la Luna. That is not the story of this match. The story of this match is this match fucks.
It was sick, man.
This was so good.
Yeah, exactly. I think probably Doki's best match, I think, for me.
Absolutely. Doki showed out. Lindemann was fucking money. There was the spot where Lindemann hit him with like a judo throw and then immediately turned it into a fucking a DDT from the knees. Bro, oh my God.
That's the shit you get from the Strong Hearts, though. Those sort of combinations, I'd see them in multi-man tags and stuff, and they'd be doing that, like, Lindemann does that, hits that, and then T-Hawk's out of here, then someone else is there, and they just, like, swarm people, you know? Like, it's awesome.
It was so much fun. I was actually there was a couple of spots where I was just filming my TV with my phone and sending clips of the match off to Shane to be like, dude, this match fucks. You got to watch this. The what was the other one? Oh, the spot where Doki gets, I don't know what they called it, but Doki gets El Lindaman into like a black hole slam position and then immediately turns it into like a fisherman suplex for pin.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
He's
that
so
was
good.
so fucking good.
And in that promo, how he's saying that like New Japan Dojo wouldn't even accept his like application. They're like, nah, no way. And he's like, and here I am, the champion of GLEAT. Like, it was awesome. Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I'm a believer, bro.
It was awesome.
El Lindaman's fucking rad. And I'm gonna go off for a second. We on this podcast, we stand Doki. We do not accept any Doki hate. Doki is a motherfucker. All right. We love him.
Yes.
When are people gonna recognize that Doki is an innovator? Doki is doing shit that has never been seen before or since. He will go down as one of those people, one of those like everyone kind of went, oh yeah, Too Cold Scorpio's cool. And now you look at Too Cold Scorpio, like footage from back in the day, and people are like, oh my God, look at what Too Cold Scorpio was doing back in the day. You know, that's going to be Doki.
Yeah.
20 years, 25 years from now, people are going to be watching these old fucking Doki matches and being like, that motherfucker was awesome.
Yeah. They're like, he's there in fucking Right Said Fred mesh. He's got like a pipe and a scar and a weird mask, and he looks like an insane person. He's not going to look like that forever. And there'll be a time they look back on like the crazy Doki times and they'll be like, this dude was the fucking man, like when he was starting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't even deal with how fucking over the top Doki is. The cool, crazy shit that he gets to, and he only gets to do it once a year. He doesn't get to do this shit in his multi-man tag matches. He gets to do it only at Best of the Super Juniors. And sometimes he'll get to do it in like the junior tag tournaments and stuff like that. This is it, man. Doki comes to play. And this match was it. This was such shorts. It was ridiculous. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was I wonder if I'm not going to declare it my favorite match of the tournament yet because there has been some good ones. I've liked them, but it might be. Yeah, it actually might be. Yeah, no, I'm going
to say it. Yeah. We've all been, it's good. We've all been watching B Block. You know, we've looking at B Block and going, oh man, that might be the one to beat, dude. Like A Block came out, they had 3 really good matches and then 2 kind of like meh, and like I don't know. I thought Yo was looking more aggressive in his match and stuff. I was sitting there watching it like, oh, maybe I can make an excuse and just be like, yeah, Yo's doing good. He's showing some fire. It's fine. It's cool. And then El Lindaman and Doki come out and just shit all over night 1. This was such a good match. 9 minutes and 21 seconds. I wanted to rewind it and watch it again.
Yeah. You know what's sick as well is that Doki pinned the G-Rex champion, and so they're probably setting up another match between them, maybe at GLEAT or something, which would be killer.
I hope so.
Imagine Doki without the restraints of New Japan. He'll probably die.
Letting Doki go in a fucking tournament or in a title match. Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go. Let Doki be great.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Exactly.
What
would
next
Doki
match
do? Nobody knows.
What would Doki do? Yeah. Probably jump off of something and land flat back on the concrete or something because he's fucking nuts. Yeah. I love it. And I don't know how he breathes out of that mask. It doesn't look very comfortable.
No, it doesn't. I'm surprised he doesn't lose it, to be fair. It doesn't even look that well secured.
There's been so many matches where you see it like coming down or coming up, and he's having to just constantly mess with it. I think it was last year during the him and the rest of Suzuki-gun were challenging for the Never Six Mans, and he was in a submission move. It might have been the butterfly lock, and he didn't have his arms free, and his mask was sliding down. You just saw it came down to like. Below his upper lip, and it was like, oh, he's gonna lose his fucking mask to this fucking butterfly lock.
Oh no, that's an embarrassing way to go out. Like his entire, luchador honor just destroyed by the butterfly lock.
God
what a piece of shit that is.
Oh man. So speaking of awesome, luchador awesomeness, was Bushi versus El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo winning in 10 minutes and 43 seconds with a CR2. This was fun. I had a ton of fun watching this match. El Phantasmo came out with his X-Pac trunks, his tribute trunks.
Yelling at Kevin
100%.
Kelly. Like, what is it, Kevin?
Yeah.
X-Pac.
X-Pac.
Yeah.
My wife looking up from her phone and going, "Oh, I love his jacket." It's like, I knew you would.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, this was a good match. I love that El Phantasmo took Bushi's shirt off and strangled him with it.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
I enjoyed that. I
change up.
I think we're seeing El Phantasmo grow before our eyes. You see that you often post things like wrestling images that go hard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see that image of the Bullet Club on Impact where it's Jay White, the Good Brothers, Chris Bay, and El Phantasmo, like together, like entering a thing. And that's like an epic wrestling photo, like for me, like as a squad, you know, sort of coming out. Like whenever I look at teams, I always look at them like superhero squads and things like that. Like I like to think of silhouettes and stuff. And him with the beanie and like doing his, you know, little too sweet headbanger type pose and stuff like that. I'm like, this guy's just cool as fuck, man. Like, and that is just transcends everything. You know, Bullet Club is immediately cooler. Just even by bringing back the Good Brothers, you know, like it just adds like some credibility. We were talking about, you know, that Dontaku show and stuff. And so suddenly it's not like, oh, here comes the fucking Bullet Club guy, traipse him out, fucking House of Torture, Gato's mates. It's a badass Bullet Club dude. It's pretty cool. I think it's breathed new life into the faction personally.
Yeah, and you know, they talk a lot about how Zack Sabre Jr. is like probably the best tournament wrestler in New Japan right now. And I'm thinking like maybe you want to put some respect on El Phantasmo's name. Back-to-back Super J Cup winner, El Phantasmo. You know, like, I mean, I know he's been in a couple of these Best of Super Juniors and he hasn't won one yet, but I say yet. You know, he might win one right now.
He probably doesn't get as much respect because of all the back rakes.
Which are one of the best parts.
Yeah, it is one of the best
of our boy.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought a pretty good effort from our boy Boosh. He did a tope. That's pretty exciting for him.
He came out with a weird like Valdo from Soul Calibur mask.
Oh yeah, that was
pretty cool.
sick. Yeah, exactly. Is that what it was? I was like, is he going for like a pinhead type vibe? But that was cool. Like
that's kind of, it reminded me, to me, it looked like he was cosplaying as Valdo from Soul Calibur. I was into it. You know, I liked it. I was more of a Raphael guy, or, you know, like I like Nightmare too, but like Valdo's cool. It's fine. So yeah, I like the match. I would say shorts.
Yeah. Shorts, and obviously the first one was shorts. We couldn't stop talking about it for the entire time.
Super shorts. Fucking John Stockton shorts.
John Stockton shorts.
So the next match was one that I was really looking forward to the second these blocks were announced. Robbie Eagles beating Wheeler Yuta in 11 minutes and 30 seconds with a roll-up. What did you think of this one?
That left me shook is what happened there, because I love Robbie Eagles, obviously. He's one of the best in my countrymen. And I didn't think that he was going to beat the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, like member of the Blackpool Combat Club, AEW star, on his first match in New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors, which is why it was amazing. When he came out and when he had Wheeler as his first match, I was like, this is what the company thinks of him. They know he's going to give Wheeler this amazing match. Wheeler's going to look great and set him up for the tournament. But instead, they have Robbie pull out, you know, the narrow victory and just like, you know, like A, shock everybody, and B, like immediately set Wheeler up with like I need to do better. This is a different playing field. So sets Wheeler on a story, but then also shows the world that Robbie Eagle's somebody they really value and that, you know, has value in the world of wrestling. So I'm super excited for what it means, especially for the next time that Robbie goes to the US.
I don't think that this match was as shocking as everyone said it was. I don't think that result was as shocking. So if we look at it now, AEW, yes, is a huge wrestling company in the United States. It's nowhere. It's starting to break through in Japan. right? Robbie is a former face of the division. He's a two-time junior heavyweight champion.
I think only one, right? Like I think he's only had the junior belt once, but has had the tag a couple of times. Am I wrong?
That's right. Okay.
Am I wrong?
Right.
No,
No,
I think I'm right. Yeah.
He's a former junior heavyweight champion either way. So when you look at it, Wheeler Yuta coming over, yes, he's ROH pure champion. ROH and AEW are kind of on the same level. Japan, New Japan in Japan is a higher, more well-respected product. And Robbie's someone who's been there and done that. Now, Wheeler himself, yes, he's a member of the Black Bull Combat Club, and there's a lot of noise being made about all that, but he's not John Moxley. He's not Bryan Danielson. So,
he's on a learning excursion, essentially. It's like he's their kind of protege. He's the youngest member of the crew that they've taken under their wing. And then now it's like, okay, we've done tournaments and things before, you haven't. Get over the BOSJ Super Juniors and see what you can do. And then immediately it's a learning experience. And everything William Regal says about him is like, I'm in there with young Wheeler. I'm showing him how to scouse people. I'm headbutting dudes and I'm fucking kicking them in the nuts and I'm just winning. It's about fighting. This is a terrible fucking, it became like a Michael Caine more than a William Regal, but you get what I'm saying. Like his whole story is that he's like learning to be one of the most dangerous wrestlers in the world, but he's not that yet. So when you say that, it absolutely makes sense. But I have been conditioned as a wrestling fan for a long time with having like somebody like Vince McMahon in charge, that it's just like our product is the most valuable thing and nothing matters more than that. So it's natural to think that TK is going to be like, if I'm putting an AEW guy in, he's going to fucking, defeat everybody. And if he takes a loss, it will be very narrow and he's going to have this huge thing. But I don't think everything I know about the wrestling fan that is Tony Khan, I don't think he's that guy at all. I think he wants stories and I think he wants like fun things to happen in wrestling. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be there, right? Like, there's no way that somebody that isn't a fan of wrestling and doesn't want to do like good business between the two companies would put on that show or like show each other's wrestlers on their show or send somebody to a tournament and stuff. He's trying to make good wrestling happen, is what I think.
There's a lot of goodwill there.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
A lot of goodwill there.
Absolutely.
And now all I want is a movie about William Regal's life where he's played by Michael Caine. Thank you for that.
You blew the bloody doors off. She was only 16 years old.
Conversely, we could remake The Dark Knight with William Regal as Alfred.
There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Have you ever seen that thing? I forget the two comedians where it's like two Regals, two Michael Caines talking to each other.
No.
They're arguing. The two comedians and they're talking about who does like the better impression of Michael Caine. It's like really, he's like, you got to take your time when you're telling them things, Master Bruce. And like they're like both so good at. I am not good at doing a Michael Caine impression, but find it. I think if you Google just something like two Michael Caines argue or something like that, it's so fucking funny. They're just tearing apart each other's impression of him. It's really good. Anyway, I loved the match. I thought it was really good. I think it was a huge opportunity for Robbie, for more people to know his name on the, like the American market and stuff, because there will be new fans tuning in to watch Wheeler. And I think it set him up for a good story. I think they can have future matches off it. And I think it was like a really, really cool match. It was good. I think it was short. People got to check it out. And I think if people aren't familiar with like Yuta's work outside of AEW, it's a great example of it. This is a guy before he was like signed to AEW was like the IWTV champion. So the Internet Wrestling TV champion. And had like an hour-long draw match with Daniel Garcia. Like he's a really good wrestler and was before AEW. Like, so I'm glad that he's going to get a chance to show that on this stage.
Yeah, big international stage, and he's going to sign. Shine, we love you. We love you, Big Shooter Uter.
Yeah. Big Utes.
Big Utes. Next up, Master Wato losing to TJP in 12 minutes, 21 seconds with the Pinoy stretch. it's always fun to see
I love this.
how smooth TJP
He's
is
so good,
smooth.
man. He's really good. Like,
yeah.
And Wato was a really good opponent for him because he was just working him over. And Wato in Peril was like quite good, I thought.
Yeah, no, Watto definitely. One thing I kept thinking was Watto's chops would be so much more effective if he would lose that fucking glove on his right hand.
Yeah.
Because he's laying these just nasty chops against TJP, and they look devastating and they sound like shit.
Yeah, they're getting muffled by that stupid glove.
Yeah, and I know that like the glove is basically 9/10 of his fucking character right now. It's the glove
it's his magician
and blue.
glove.
But like, dude, take
Where's
that
he going to
shit
keep
off
all the cards and the rabbit that he needs to fucking pull out?
talk to Ace Austin. Where's he getting
Yeah,
shit from?
Exactly. Well, yeah, actually, Ace Austin pulled that card out of nowhere. It was great.
Yeah, and then like they closed in on him, and he was putting his card away. I'm like, did he just shove that back in his trunks? Did he put it in his boot? What did he do with that?
Yeah. I think it went in his wristband. It's hard to say, but a magician never tells. So you never know.
Never tells. Yeah.
Two magicians in this tournament. Match. Shame they're not in the same block. The magic showdown between Ace Austin and Wato would be sick. They're sawing people in half. It'd be nuts.
Way to the Grand Magician.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I love it.
Wato's like, I'm not a magician, guys. I'm a kung fu master. And we're like, no, you're a fucking magician.
No,
bro.
you're not.
I know a magician when I see one. And you're trying to use your tricks to make me think you know kung fu, but you're a magician. Yeah.
You're not a Jedi either, bro.
TJP is just so polished. You know what I mean?
So
so smooth. And just his look and his movements and just a pro wrestler. You know, you can tell he was part of that first LA dojo class when he was like, I don't know, 10 years old. He was in New Japan with like Bryan Danielson and stuff. And then now he's like, I don't know, 19. And that was like 30 years ago or something, some shit. And he's just like been on such a wrestling journey that it just showed immediately. You're like, this guy's fucking got everything together. And he made Wato look better, and his offense is so innovative. And it's like, say what you will about social media, blah, 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 not liking him, all that stuff. Him as a wrestler, it's hard to fault. And I think he's going to bring like a lot of excitement to this tournament. And I loved his fucking bad boy attitude because it like, you know, read correct, you know, like when he wins and he stands over Wato and is fucking yelling in his face, standing over him. And he was talking about the title and he's walking out and he's like, crowns up, boys, Empire for life and all this shit. It was like, this is cool. He's bringing a swagger to this faction that they didn't really have yet. And I think it's going to be cool.
I got to say, like when the dichotomy between Akira coming out with TJP or TJP coming out with Akira, it's very, very different reads.
Very
Akira
different.
coming out and he's ready for his match, and TJP's behind him. He's got his hoodie up, he's got his glasses, he's coming out with his hair slicked back and shit, and he looks like a bad dude. And then you see TJP coming out with Akira, and Akira's like, I'm also happy to be here, hello.
He's like, wait for me. Like, TJP's already halfway the ring. He's running after him. He's trying to get the towel sorted and shit like that. And TJP just doesn't give a fuck. It was very different. But yeah, I love the details on TJP's gear as well. He's got the paisley really on the inner lining of the... Yeah, like I said, he's just polished in like everything he does. I thought he was polished in like the Cruiserweight Classic, you know, like, and that was years ago, you know? So yeah, I think if he can, you know, keep all, you know, I guess his social media shit to the side and just be TJP the wrestler, like I think he can deliver some amazing stuff for this company.
Yeah, there was one spot in Akira's match after Akira won where he hands Akira the t-shirt and Akira's like just kind of fiddling with it and stuff, and he's like, no, put it on. You can see him go like, no, put it on, bro. And he's like, show the merch.
Yes.
You know, like
he's working. He's a professional wrestler. Yeah, absolutely. He's like, do what I say because I'll show you. Like, he's repping everything at all times, hand symbols, blah, blah, blah. And I always thought that about him too. Like, he, even, again, back to the Cruiserweight Classic, back to his time in WWE, so many fucking poses. He has so many different poses. He's got so many symbols. You know what I mean? He's up on the turnbuckle and his arms back. He's gonna fight it. He's got the guns. He puts them in and he's got the pose and he's got a dab and he's always doing moves and like creating silhouettes and stuff, making shapes out here with his fucking
throwing shapes, bro.
And people love that. It's photogenic. When they're getting out of the ring and stuff, he's making sure like the camera's there and Akira's like trying to climb down and he's already posing behind him and stuff. Like he fucking knows what he's doing, man. Like,
he's got his shit together.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. He's been doing it for his entire life. As I said, 10 years old in the dojo.
Yeah, all 19 years of it.
Yeah, all 19 years of his life. He still looks 19. He's just killing it. Yeah.
El Lindemann was too short to go to the LA dojo, but it didn't matter because TJP was so good that they brought him in at 10 years old.
Yeah, he was already had all the tattoos at 10. Sunglasses. He rocked up in the United Empire gear fucking at 10.
Fucking 10 years early.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, but yeah, shorts.
Shorts, good shorts match. The final match of the night, the main event was Teton versus El Desperado versus Teton versus El Desperado. You said tits and I lost my brain.
That's what we call it.
13 minutes and 45 seconds with the Pinche Loco. El Desperado beats my man Teton. This was fantastic. When we were saying that the Doki match might have been our favorite of the tournament so far, I had to quickly think, like, was Teton versus El Desperado better? I loved this match, dude. I loved it. Teton is so fucking great.
I was watching it last night and Amy like looks over from where she's in bed, she's getting ready to go to sleep, and she looks over as she's making her entrance. It's just like, is that tits? Because she hadn't seen him since like Fantastic Mania. So good. He's great, man. He's awesome.
I love him.
It was a good match. It was really good. It was really good.
I was looking forward to this so much because Teton, 100% technico, 100% corazon, let's go, good guy. And El Desperado really got the chance to shine and be that shitbag heel that he was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But now he's the more polished ace of the junior division and gets to play the shitbag heel. And it just came out so good. These two have great chemistry. I was living for this, bro. The second it started, I was hype. And the second it ended, I was like, please more. Yeah. Again.
It was awesome, man. I really liked it. The juxtaposition of their two characters was so good. Despy's so good at being that, Ruto. Like, Teton wants to do the handshake. Despy isn't interested. They have a little bit of an exchange. Despy's like, you know what? We'll do the handshake. And he goes for it and immediately just pokes him in the eyes. Straight away.
Yep. And nothing big and performative. Nothing like I'm going to get him. It was just like poke and move.
Yeah, like the ref's in the right place and he just kind of like steps so the ref can't see. Gives him one of those and then on to like the next thing. And I was like, you're so good, man. Yeah, he's absolutely. So this night was great. Like, everything on here was shorts, right? Like, we're looking back through those. They were all absolutely awesome. And yeah, I was just thinking as you were talking about it, I was like, Despy's such a prick. And then I just remembered we didn't do our podcast intro 1 hour and like 10 minutes in.
Oh. All right.
Tell everybody who we are, Curtis.
Well, welcome to the B Block show. And my name's Curtis. That's Rafe.
Good friend, bad friend.
No, good friend, bad friend. The thing that I normally say.
International Wrestling Grand Prix. Curtis and Rafe.
International Wrestling Grand
Okada Shorts podcast. Welcome.
I can do the whole thing. Welcome to the Okada Shorts podcast, everybody. We are the Kings of Pod Style, the International Wrestling Grand Prix. I'm your good friend Curtis Spears. That over there, that's your bad friend Rafe Houston. Rafe, what'd you think of the first night of B Block?
I absolutely loved it. Shorts for the entire night. Not a miss on that night.
No pants whatsoever, man.
Nah, no pants were found. It was high shorts exclusive. Now on the third,
everything was so good. Everything was so good that we didn't even have time to do an intro.
Nah, exactly. We just started talking shit immediately, which is kind of our gimmick. We start talking shit immediately, and then Curtis brings it back on track. But it never happened. I got him off track for like over an hour. So,
I was way too excited.
Exactly.
Way too. Okay, so let's talk about now. We've had one show from each so far. Mm-hmm. What's the difference in the A block and the B block for you?
The difference. as different wrestlers? This is a trick question. I don't understand.
That is not what I was looking for, but it is 100% a correct answer.
Tell me it's wrong.
It is a correct answer.
Exactly. Tell me what you're thinking here, because I'm not sure where you go with it.
So, no, normally the A block and the B block obviously they have different vibes. Even for like G1s, one will be more of a work rate block, one will be more of a storytelling block and things like that.
That's true. A is normally that, right? Like A is normally
A is more of a
bit
storytelling
more
block, yeah.
Yeah.
And then B is normally the block that has the banger matches in it. And I think that's exactly what we got here. I just don't know if everyone has the chops, the storytelling chops to pull that off in the A block. Normally in an A block, G1, you'll get like Naito and Tanahashi and things like that. And like great storytellers, people who can work out their matches. And I'm failing to see a Naito or a Tanahashi level storyteller in the A block for the Best of Super Juniors. Everyone looked at that B block when they were announced and said, that's the fucking one to watch. And after a small sample size, yeah, it is. But can we like pick out like who's gonna really like show off in this A block? Because like it looks like B block's ready to just fucking roll.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to roll away because there's a lot of talent in the A block. So I don't know. Are there any you're really looking forward to?
Yeah. I think I'm more excited about Alex Zane now than I was.
For sure.
To begin, I think that his response that he's getting in Japan may even change the booking of the tournament. Not necessarily have him win, but I think they may have been thinking one thing and they might go, let's call an audible here. Let's run with him a little bit more. Like there's the opportunity to do that. And make him shine as much as possible, because they could build
maybe
a really
he gets a sneaky one over Ishimori or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like set something up, because that stuff you can't plan for. Like you can't plan for like the hearts and minds of your fan base to suddenly be drawing cartoons nonstop of this guy. Like you can't plan for that. He's brought in a look on his own. It wasn't given to him by New Japan. He just started sort of that. Red look with the big furry coat and the twirly mustache and stuff. And Japan loves it. So you got to go, man, let's run with this guy a little bit harder than we were going to and see where that's going to go. So I'm very excited to see just his future with the company now. And I think as well, same for Clark Connors. Like, I mean, maybe they won't change his booking, but I think, again, they were like, oh, we'll bring in this guy, he's solid, blah, blah, blah. They didn't expect him to become the fashion icon of, like, the wrestling world, like, fucking on his first day. You know what I mean? Like, the internet blew up over him. Everybody was talking about, like, his look, and there was constant photos and stuff. Like, he was, like, huge on social media. Whether they care about that, I don't know, but these are things that they've got to take into consideration. And where they might have been thinking, let's make our fucking plucky underdog Yo take it all the way. Maybe they're like, you know what? Let's put Yo in the bin, and let's maybe lean on some of these, like, foreign guys.
I think maybe that was your booking, putting Yo in the bin.
I mean, that was my booking from the start. I would have even had him in the tournament. I would have even had him in the company at this stage. So,
wow. Who would you have had in the tournament instead of Yo?
Instead of Yo.
You can only pull from New Japan contracted wrestlers.
Okay. New Japan contracted wrestlers.
Yeah, so there's no like.
Are there any juniors left?
Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's people in. I mean, you could maybe put a young lion in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty.
Bring someone back from excursion, but I think everybody's kind of too early.
You do.
Fuck it, they should have had Ren Narita in this, man.
Yeah, Ren Narita would have been sick, or Yuya would have been cool.
I think Yuya's going to be a heavyweight when he comes back, dude. He's put on so much muscle.
Yeah, you're probably right. They're probably not wanting to put him in that. Yeah, they should have had Narita in it. That would have been cool. That probably would have been the best shot. You know what? Fuck, I'd even have Tiger Mask in it over Yo.
That's respectable, actually. Well, Tiger Mask is a little bit old. Maybe he can't take the tournament life anymore. But
maybe he don't want it. But yeah, that's what I would sort of be thinking.
Take Rocky, put Rocky over him.
Yeah, Rocky could be cool. Rocky can do some great stories. Like, he would add a lot of story to that block. You put Rocky in there, yeah, that would be cool. I would put, but then I'd want to put Rocky in the same block as El Phantasmo, because they had one of my favorite matches. They were so
there's story there. There's backstory for years there.
They were great. Anyway, let's jump into the third block a little bit and see how we're feeling as that goes. I'm with you for the start, and then I lose consciousness, but we'll just vibe it. You can just tell me all about it.
That's fine. So the first match of A Block Night 2 was Yo versus Clark Connors.
Clark Connors picking up the win, or no?
Yo wins after 12 minutes and 3 seconds with the direct drive. Clark Connors, 2 losses, 0 points so far. Yo,
they should have had fucking Clark Connors trophy kill this bitch into oblivion, is what they should have had.
Just pounce him and send him through the fucking roof.
Fuck it. You know that, I don't know if you've seen that clip of like Clark behind Carl Fredericks, where it's just like Fredericks is on the ground, he's just slamming his head into the mat over and over and punching him in the back of the head. I want that to be the finish on Yo. And then they're like, and Clark Connors hospitalized Yo. They stretcher him out. We've got to bring in an alternate.
We've got to bring in Ren Narita.
We've got to bring in Narita. We got to bring in nobody. And then there's a bye. Would still be a better outcome. Fuck Yo.
Tell us how you really feel. Shit, man.
I'm done with it. I'm hyped up on him on my second coffee now. I'm fucking getting angry about it.
2 cups in. Hate Yo.
I used to love Yo in Roppongi 3K. He wasn't my favorite. Sho was always my favorite, but I was like, they could do stuff with him. But at the moment, this nonchalant vinyl listening prick, it can fuck off. I hate him. All right. So after that, any highlights that you need to run down for me in Yo versus Connors?
This one was a bit skippable, if I'm 100% honest. Like, this wasn't the best match for either of these guys. I wouldn't have watched it if I was time crunched.
What could Clark have done?
I think, okay, so I will say this. Yo showed a lot more fire in these last 2 matches than he has since like 2021.
Yeah, but doesn't rate us
spring 2021 probably. Like, that's not an excuse. Clark should have won.
I just
I'm going to pull for Clark every time.
I don't think Yo's fire reads as authentic to me. Because when he's like talking like, I'll do my best, maybe, I just want to be at home, like, and then he's like going, yeah, and having just because you scream doesn't mean I believe you, man. Like, I don't care.
It did feel like he was just kind of like ordering a cup of coffee, didn't it?
Yes.
Like
he's just going through the motions because that's what, the fire is supposed to be. Like the young lion fire, you're supposed to have a scream and feel it. But the difference is that you're supposed to actually feel it. But he doesn't because he is broken.
Yeah. My character is that I don't give a shit. It's like, oh, you mean like that thing that Orange Cassidy does, but actually shows up every now and again?
Or that thing that Sonata did that sidelined his career for ages until he started to, just in his last 2 matches, start to give a fuck. Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll move on.
We've given him way too much time. Let's go.
I love it that I can just at any time just be like, and then Yo wins, and you just go
triggered by it. He's probably going to win the whole fucking thing, and I'm going to be so bad about it, and it's going to be such a great tournament ruined. But yeah,
I don't know, man, because like, you know what they like to do? They like to have the winner, go kind of off the rails at the beginning, and he pulls it back, and he wins the block and things like that. So maybe that's what they're doing with Clark. He's gonna lose the first 3 matches and then rifle off 6.
Now you're talking. That'd be sick. Yeah, let's go. All right. Okay, who's
fucking
next?
Go Rhino.
Yeah, let's do it.
Next up, Ace Austin beats Yoshinobu Kanemaru 10 minutes and 58 seconds with the fold.
Same finish.
Now, that was a really good match. Kanemaru just knows his shit backwards and forwards, and he really made Ace Austin look really good here. Now, I will say again, like, Ace Austin did the same spots, and I thought that maybe this time Kanemaru was going to be the one that was going to like show him up. This is that handstand that he does on the apron specifically stuck out to me. It's a cool spot. The first time they were on the ring apron, Kanemaru like went for like a clothesline to Ace Austin, and Austin like cartwheeled over it, and I was like, oh, he didn't do the handspring this time. He didn't do the handstand this time. That's cool. And then like 30 seconds later, he did the handstand, and I was like, Kanemaru should just turn around and just like clip that hand out from under him, dropped him right on his fucking head.
Or like Kanemaru's already got like a mouthful of Suntory, and just like as he's upside down doing the handstand, just spits it in his eyes. Yeah, that'd be sick. Then Kanemaru rolls him up and wins. That would have been dope.
That would have been really cool. They did make Ace Austin look really good here. His finishing move is really,
it's cool.
It's kind of odd. It's cool.
I like it though, just because it's different.
It's very impactful.
Yeah.
A lot of his moves are a lot of fun. He did one move that was like it was a high spot off the top rope. I don't remember what they called it, but it was something like some sort of press or something like that. And I'm like, why didn't he call this 52 pickup?
Yeah.
You
blew it.
That would have do the whole go fucking flat out with the card things, man. Come on.
Exactly.
But,
would you say that after these couple of matches, would you say you're an Ace Austin fan yet, or you're still sort of feeling him out?
I liked him. I want to like him. I've always wanted to like him. I've never seen enough of him because like Impact doesn't play over here.
Yeah.
So like I'm not subscribed to Impact's streaming service. I probably won't be, although I think we maybe need to put more respect on Impact's name right now. They've got some good shit. I would like to see more of Ace Austin. I'm just kind of hoping that he can pull out another level at some point in this tournament, and he might. We'll see. Yeah. He's making a fan of me.
Nah, I'm interested to see where he goes, man. I think he's got a huge upside.
The next match was Alex Zane, our new space pirate Alex Zane, winning over Show in 12 minutes and 1 second with the Taco Driver. This was great.
It's a big win.
Like, this was 100% fun. Show was great in this match, playing dastardly heel and doing it in fun and exciting ways. And Alex Zane looked like a badass. Like, he came out looking like $100. Or 100?
Only $100.
What's the
what? $100 Australian goes pretty far in Japan. Like, I think our dollars are good at the moment. I don't actually know. It's not.
I said $100.
Yeah.
It's 2:23 in the morning for me.
It's fine. I know what you're saying. $1 million. He was looking great.
$100 million is what I meant to say, because that's the exchange rate, I'm sure. No, like, Show for the last few months has been, people have been saying, oh, he's just pulling funny faces and doing the same shit. And it's like, yeah, the funny faces are entertaining as fuck. And he's stopped doing the same shit lately. He's coming up with new fun shit, and it's cheeky, and I like it.
Yeah. It's cheeky and whimsical.
It is whimsical. Shenanigans.
With this one, this was when I realized I was asleep, because I like woke up in the middle of it, and I was like, oh, well, I want to watch this. I'll come back to it like later. So I'm very excited to see this one. I'm very happy to hear that Alex Zane got the win over Show. That's a big win for him.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
he's undefeated so far. Yeah, 2 matches, 2 wins.
That's great. Exactly. Call the audible all the way. Alex Zane. Let's go. We haven't been saying pants and shorts, but it was.
Sorry.
It was. What was it? It was pants.
I'd say
for Yo always. Shorts for Ace Austin and Kanemaru, and shorts for Alex Zane and Show.
That was, I'm going to say that match was probably my match of the night. I like, the next 2 matches were good, but I think Alex Zane and Show like entertained me the most out of the show tonight. This Yo versus Clark Connors match, dude, I was checking my phone all the way through it. Yeah. I was trying, but I just couldn't. I did not give half a shit in this match, and it hurt.
I love that we just keep going back to him. We're just like, this motherfucker.
I went and looked back at it. I made the mistake of going back in my phone to see the results, to give the pants or shorts. And I saw Yo again, and I just went, God damn it.
I'm clicking the highlights tab. Hang on. Okay, first
Okay,
highlight, a headlock. Second highlight,
Ooh.
Clark Connor's giving him a body check. Third highlight, a butterfly lock from Clark Connors. Come on, bro. Do not.
No, it wasn't. That's not. It wasn't a butterfly lock. It was a.
It's got that vibe.
He was doing a. It was. He was. It was a seated. Ooh, who's tired? I am. It was. It was a seated master lock. He was. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then maybe I like that. Then it's Yo doing a drop kick. Then it's like a spear from Clark Connors. Then it's some kind of ankle lock from Yo. Then it's Yo doing a German suplex, and then Yo doing the direct drive, and then Yo
Really nasty
Yo
German
looking
suplex,
like
that
he
was
doesn't
good.
give a fuck that he won. He's just like this.
Yeah,
This is the
completely
pose.
unimpressed.
Curtis. This is the pose. He's like this. Hands up, sort of backish, and head down, like sort of looking sad.
Like he's still being put in that full Nelson. Like
Yeah.
he's. Please post a picture of that for our Instagram.
I will.
Everybody can see it.
I'll save it. Exactly. All right.
This man is not. This man just won a match.
Yeah. I think I've got to create an Okada Shorts TikTok that's just me fucking roasting Show
Talking
at
shit on
all.
Yo.
I mean, roasting Yo at all times.
Can't roast Show. He'd hit you with a wrench.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to fuck with him. All right. Next match. Let's go.
Ryusuke Taguchi, my wife's favorite wrestler, losing to Taiji Ishimori via a jackknife powerbomb. This was better than the sum of its parts. I'm not sure why Ishimori put his working boots on to face Taguchi, but he did. It was pretty good.
I like the idea of a jackknife powerbomb finisher. That's cool. From the smallest man in the world.
he's very tiny, but he's got the muscles. He's the muscle chihuahua, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's like Liger, where he's built wide for a junior.
Yeah.
And yeah, he put fucking Taguchi in the ground with it too. It was pretty good. I wouldn't
Did he
go
do
so
the
far
pin?
as to say
Did he
this
do
was
the Undertaker like hands over and roll his eyes back? Like,
no.
That would have been sick.
He just power bombed him and called it good. But no, it was a very fun match. Like Ishimori was he had a lot of speed going, which is something you don't see from Taiji Ishimori very much anymore.
Yeah.
At one point, like Taiji Ishimori, I thought he was the fastest. I was like, he's the fastest kid alive. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he's a little bit older now. He doesn't run around as fast as he used to, and yet for some reason he breaks it out for fucking the Ass Masters. So good for him. Maybe they wanted to set it up where they can get another shot at the tag titles for when he loses his belt back to Desperado.
Yeah, maybe. TJP and Akira were making a lot of noise about those belts at Wato, so I think that's definitely a match we can expect very soon. United Empire versus Teams 6 and or 9.
I'm into it. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be cool.
So yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary on this. I thought it was pretty good. I'd say watch it if you.
I'd have to watch it. So I mean, I haven't seen it. So would you rate it pants or shorts? Sounds like you're shorts on this.
Shorts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, get like a nice satchel shorts. Cargo shorts.
Bit
They're a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
got utilities you can use. You can carry all your stuff in. Yeah, okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. I'm surprised to hear that. And then we go on the last match, right? What do we got?
Hiromu Takahashi beating Francesco Akira with the Time Bomb 2. This was also very good. This one, I wouldn't say it's better than the sum of its parts. I pretty much knew this was going to be good. Hiromu could wrestle fucking anybody in the world and throw down. Francesco Akira, this is his first like big stage that he's ever really gotten to wrestle on. And yeah, did not disappoint. A lot of people would probably say this was match of the night. It went 17 minutes. It's a long match. Hiromu really gave a lot to Akira, but he gives a lot to everybody. So it's not like he saw anything special in him and had to make him look like $1 million. Like he made himself look like $1 million. Hiromu just was also there.
Yeah.
Hiromu is greatness. He is expected to be greatness. Francesco Akira was also very, very, very good.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, that's another one I've got circled. I think I had already heard like through the grapevine that match was really good, which isn't really surprising,
No,
especially with everything they say about Akira. Like I said, in his first match, because he was sort of immediately jumped by Show and stuff, I feel like I didn't get like the full maybe Akira experience. So I'll be interested to watch this and sort of catch him doing that fast stuff with Hiromu.
Yeah, you'll be able to see a lot of that. It's a very good showcase of Akira's talent. And it really came across that like I said, this was his first big stage. This is his first huge audience, and its first main event. And he took the most out of it. You know,
yeah, he
made a lot of noise. Very, very good show. I don't think there was one sleeper. I say sleeper when you actually fell asleep, but there was one sleeper in the Yo and Clark Connors match. You can skip that one unless you're a big Clark Connors fanboy. You know, go back and watch it. I guess he does have some really cool power spots, and Yo wasn't 100% awful. It just wasn't great. But other than that, 4 shorts, I think.
There you go. No worries. Well, that was the end of where you have seen up to as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's everything. So, I mean, that's the first 3 nights all covered. Some other things, I guess, that happened in New Japan was the 4th night, which we'll go on and watch, and we'll talk about that later. Capital Collision happened. We've already covered that we aren't going to pay fight for something that's just going to be on our regular subscription that we've had for like a long time. So we'll talk. Right. We'll talk about that
New Japan
later.
Pills.
Yeah.
I got the New Japan fever.
Okay, blah. I'm positive with New Japan 19. I don't know where I'm going with this. It got dark, but yeah. When that comes live, we'll talk about that. I've heard it was a really good show. I've had some of the results spoiled for me, but that's fine. I chose to not watch it live or when it happened and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I guess the last thing we've got to touch on is Ibushi's breakdown, right?
So I wanted to get our resident Ibushi scholar from Twitter, Booze Leprechaun, on here. Nicole's all things Ibushi. She seems to think that this is a very planned move by Ibushi. It's not a breakdown. She's seems to think that he knows exactly what he's doing. I really don't know if I want to talk too much about it because it is still a developing situation. We don't know. We can look like assholes if we say, "Oh, it's a fucking work," and then he gets in trouble or gets hurt or something bad happens.
I don't even really have an opinion on it because I just don't know. But I know it was pretty wild. Some of the stuff he was saying and some of the accusations and stuff he was making. So if he's trying to write himself out of the company, he's probably going the right way about it. What that means for his reputation or him in pro wrestling and stuff, who knows,
people are already talking about him back in DDT and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, exactly. But then he was also saying that, he kind of made links to, organized crime and stuff, and he's it's impossible to, escape the darkness and all sorts of stuff, and it's yo.
That was some scary, serious shit that he was talking about, man. And some of those tweets that he was putting out, the way people were responding to it, they made everyone kind of feel maybe he is having a mental breakdown. Maybe this is something we should be worrying about. People should be reaching out to him. And when, who was it that had the mental breakdown, not mental breakdown, but a emotional breakdown recently on Twitter?
Gabriel Kidd.
One of the young lions. Gabriel Kidd, yeah. He had to, erase his social media and kind of back away from it because it is a trigger for one of his mental issues and emotional issues. And good on him for doing that.
Yeah.
And, we always want to see Gabriel Kidd do well. I always want to see Ibushi do well too. And I really hope that he's able to find some happiness. I'm sad that he's not able to be happy in New Japan because it is a company I love.
Yeah.
But if New Japan was bad for Kota Ibushi, then I don't want Kota Ibushi there.
Nah, he needs.
I'm not gonna be some Fed stan and stick up for this company that's putting him through a meat grinder. That's terrible, man. I always say people over corporations 100% every single time.
Wow.
And if the corporation is not right for Kota Ibushi, I do not want Kota Ibushi there.
Yeah, exactly.
I want him to be happy where he's at because when he's happy, he's a great wrestler.
Yeah. And it's there's there's two sides to every story, and in the middle there's the truth. You know what I mean? Like we're getting a very sort of vocal Kota Ibushi's opinion on things at the moment, and you just don't know. You know what I mean? Like you can feel that way. Like I had a week where I was feeling really negative about my employment and stuff like that, and they've probably got their take on me as a person as well. You know what I mean? Like, but I see it from my side, and so. There's those kind of things. So we don't know. It doesn't directly affect us. I just hope he's okay and that everybody works out okay, and whatever happens is, for the best of him, to be a happy, successful professional wrestler, which he's one of the best at. So,
yeah. And wherever you are, Kota, I hope you're doing good, man. I hope everything's going to be okay. And I would like to see you back wrestling soon. But if you're not able to right now, whether that's physically or mentally, take your time, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't let these people try to tell you to come back when you can't. So
exactly right. Or if they're telling you can't and you can, then find a way to do that. You know what I mean? Like just do whatever makes you happy. So, yeah, and I would give that advice to anybody out here listening in your day-to-day life. Sometimes jobs fucking suck. Curtis and I were sending messages this week. We'd had rough weeks kind of thing. And you know what? There's always a new day, and you just start again and keep going. It's fine.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to stay up late and watch a little wrestling, talk about it with your friend.
Exactly. And then have a vent and say some things, and then, it's out of your body, and you can just do the next day. And then it's all better when the pay lands at the end of the week. 25 hours later, just like Kota Ibushi would want. Exactly right. Boom. That's it, man. But yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
I know. All right. But yeah, either way, Best of the Super Juniors has been very positive. I can't wait to, when I get off the phone from you, I'm going to go catch those matches that I've missed, start the fourth night. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good tournament.
That's going to be a great tournament. I can't wait to come back in 2 weeks and talk about the next few days with you.
Yep.
And I think it won't be over by then, but we'll have quite a few matches to talk about. I think maybe in that one, instead of doing a match-by-match breakdown, we'll just talk about our best for our favorites from the nights and general vibes. We'll do a vibe check on the Best of Super Juniors. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds really good. Let's have a look at the date here. What is the date? So we're talking, I think the next time we record will be, in a fortnight, and that'll be just before Dominion. So we'll be able to sort of do a bit of a, that's interesting. So we'll be speaking literally the day of the final, I think. Like the final will be that afternoon, and then Dominion will be in a couple of days. So that's cool. We can do like talk about a wrap-up of the tournament, preview the final, preview Dominion, and then get all ready for all that.
That sounds great.
Boom. That sounds awesome.
I love it.
Cool.
I'm so excited for this.
Pumped. All right.
Well, Rafe, where can they find you, buddy?
Well, they could find me on one of my newly sculpted link trees that I've just made.
Link tree?
Yeah,
Please
exactly.
Tell me more.
Well, I got sick of posting like 5 fucking like messages in a thread for every episode of Faces and Feels I posted. I would post like the episode, try and fit in a bit of a synopsis. Then I would post my sponsors. Then I would post links to my friends. Then I would post where to like download the podcast. And then I'd post like all this stuff. And then I'd seen a few people, I'd known about Linktree for ages, and I was like, maybe I'll give this a go because it means I could just have one link and it would have everything. And it was way cooler than I thought it was. So now I've created one for Faces and Feels, and I created one for Okada Shorts as well. So now you can click on the Linktree at the bottom of our links or in our bio, and it's like, listen here, and it has like a link to the, basically to any of the podcast services that we are on, so you can just click on your favorite one and listen, or you can even listen in Linktree. It just loads up a player, and then we've got, link to the good folks at Count Out Network, to our other shows, all that kind of handy stuff, and to our social media, all the different links, to our Instagram and Twitter and stuff. So I'm super proud of the Linktree, and I got way too excited about it. Like the OCD person in me, and also the person who for like a year and a half, nearly 2 years, has been writing all those links for ages, was like, I've done it! I'm the smartest man alive! And I was very
It only took 2 years for me to do something very simple.
Exactly. I was like, Curtis, nobody understands how efficient this is. And then he's like, this service has existed for quite a while. So very excited about that. But yeah, you can follow me at Faces Feels Cast on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And that's where you can find my other show. It's been a little bit slower start to the year for me just because of everything that's been going on like in my life. But I'm about to have a bunch of interviews drop. I've got a whole bunch in the can. I've got DMDU wrestlers ready to go. I've got even a gentleman that's been on AEW Dark, which I'm excited to release that one. He's been in the can for ages and been very, patient with me getting that one out because it was just before Amy's surgery. So, yeah, very excited to get all that going and continue to do Okada Shorts. Okada Shorts is like my favorite thing to do at the moment, just because I get to get on here and hang out with you, and it's sort of easier than planning interviews and, being professional podcaster guy. I get to be the fucking dickhead who just goes, derail it immediately and do whatever I want, and Curtis tries to keep it on track.
We don't even intro for an hour.
Nah, exactly, because my goal every time is to just fuck it up, really. So, yeah, and it's heaps of fun. So, yeah, I am enjoying doing that, and it's a nice break every fortnight.
Were you able to try and get a hold of Charlie Evans about getting her on the podcast?
I did send her an email, yes. Charlie
he responds, dude.
Well, Charlie Evans had refused to do my podcast in the past. Not because
she doesn't do any podcasts.
Yeah, exactly, because she didn't do any. Like I was doing interviews leading up to the Juice's Worth the Squeeze, the first heavyweight title tournament for Deathmatch Down Under, and I was interviewing all the wrestlers. I was trying to interview every wrestler in that tournament before the tournament. And I got through quite a few of them. And DMDU talked to her, and she was just like, no, I don't do podcasts. So I was like, how the tables have turned. And I got tagged in that comment. She put out like a really well-worded tweet that ran over several messages about the term intergender wrestling and why it shouldn't exist. And I loved it. I retweeted it. I thought it was really well read. Anybody who hasn't read it should read that. It's very important to read that. And then, yeah, she put out that thing like, I want to kind of do a bit of an ongoing thing, or I've got a project in mind, tag podcast that you think would be good at it. And I think I would be good at it. I think I'd be great at it. And I think I could really help her. And the way, if you haven't listened to Faces and Feels before, I think I give really genuine interviews. I don't have Q&A bullshit. I become people's friend. You know what I mean? I listen to them. Mm-hmm. I have honest conversations. I hear what they have to say, and I celebrate their career and their love of wrestling with them. So I think I'd be the perfect platform to do it. And I sent her an email and was just like, hey, we didn't get a chance to meet when I was at Deathmatch Down Under. I am one of the sponsors. I was really looking forward to meet you, but it didn't make its way to happening. Just about me. It's no bullshit. This is what I do. Interviewed a lot of people you know. Here's the link tree. Check it out.
Boom. Handled.
Link tree. Bang. Professional. And then, if she doesn't pick me, it's fine. I'll still listen to the podcast. I'm sure it'll be great. And I'm sure she's got a lot of stuff she wants to say. But I think I'd be the best at it.
I know you're a big fan.
Yeah,
so
I'm a big fan. Exactly. I think she is an extremely talented professional wrestler. And I think her ideals and thoughts on professional wrestling are very important for people to hear. And I would love to give her the platform to do that. But yeah.
Did I ever tell you that I had a dream that I was starting up a wrestling company, and she was the first person I signed?
No, I don't think you did, but I could see that being a very valid choice.
Yeah, I know why I dream about professional wrestling, but sometimes I do. Yeah. So yeah, I think she's great, and I hope that you can get a chat with her, man.
Yeah,
she'd be cool. A huge get.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I think I'd be a great platform to help her just say her piece. And yeah, definitely, exactly. So
Faces and Feels Cast is a fantastic podcast where, like you said, you don't interview people, you have a friendly conversation with people, and it's always a great listen. There's so many of those guys that are like, oh, that's just a deathmatch guy, and you listen and they're like, oh no, man, I'm goofy guy from Indiana, and I just want to, hang out and play video games. And also I hit people with light tubes and stuff
Guess
like
what?
that.
The deathmatch interviews are the most interesting interviews because it's a fucking crazy thing to do. And they're always the nicest people. Like, they all care about each other so much. You know what I mean? Like, the deathmatch community is a community that welcomed me into it. I started doing interviews with one person that went to the next and went to the next, just because they all know each other. They want to take care of each other. They're so supportive. And I just fell in love with it because I'm like, these are all amazing people, you know? Yeah, I'd really encourage everybody to listen to those interviews because it takes a lot to do that. Like, it's a hard life to be a traveling professional wrestler. Now imagine you're bleeding every night, you know, like, and you're dealing with injuries and risk, and you're taking your stunts to an even more dangerous level and stuff. It's really fascinating, like the mindset it takes, and you have to love it to do it. Like, you can't just dip a toe in and be like, oh, I'm just going to have it. Like, you need to love it, and they're always so passionate about it. And so I love interviewing deathmatch wrestlers because they're like one of the purest kind of like loves of their craft comes from them, you know? Like, it's really cool. And so many of my great friends in wrestling are deathmatch wrestlers because of that.
Well, you are my great friend in wrestling, and I appreciate having you on the show here. So
thank you.
If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LDestructo83. You can find the show here at Okada Shorts. Somehow that name wasn't taken. Nobody parked that. I don't know why.
Don't know why.
There it is. We're at Okada Shorts on Instagram and Twitter. And you can listen to my other podcasts. You can listen to Faces and Feels Cast, which is a race other podcast. You can listen to my other podcast, the Throw and Dice Pod, where we talk about things like D&D, Warhammer, that sort of stuff, tabletop nerd game shit. You can listen to the Smart Foundation, where we talk about all types of wrestling. My friend Shane and I will go off and review old matches and that sort of thing and play fun games. I recently did an interview with Kieran for WrestleIn's Noob Japan podcast. Giving a little love, throwing a little flowers at Masahiro Chono, My-Hiro Chono. Love that dude. And I wanted to do a companion piece. He did one about Shinya Hashimoto, and I wanted to do one as a companion piece for that about Masa Chono, since they were best friends and part of the New Japan Three Musketeers. I also threw my hat in if he wants to do one about Muda, or if he wants to do one about Jushin Liger. I'm there. So
that's it.
Yeah, that should be out in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's hot.
So that'll be fun.
No worries. I look forward to checking that one out. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks, man. And if you find the naive stupidity of us giving away a free show and our business model of giving away free shows to be oddly charming, you can go to Count Out Pod and give them a holler at their subscription service. It gives all sorts of extra shows. We'll be doing, I think, a D&D show on there very soon. So you'll listen to these wrestling nerds play D&D if you want to. They also give away plenty of daily content for you, and it's definitely worth your money. So please feel free to do that for us.
What's involved in the D&D show? So I know I'm in all the groups. Like, I'm part of the Count Out Network. But see, the thing about the Count Out Network is a lot of the communication goes on in Slack. And Slack is also how my work does communications. So mine is quite often muted because I don't want to fucking know when I'm not there. So then I'll like chime in later, and I saw something like that. How does one do a podcast about D&D? Derailing your outro, I'm sorry. Hey?
Live play.
You guys just playing it and recording it?
Just have a dude telling us a D&D story and us, reacting how our characters would react live on the air.
It's like acting. Like a radio play.
Exactly. With dice.
That sounds sick. Interesting.
I have an idea for a character that I'm gonna run.
Oh.
I feel like I'm gonna run a silly character for this. But
how many people get to play D&D?
I think it's 4 people have committed to it from the count out side.
How many can play?
As many as your DM is willing to allow, really. I mean, D&D is a thing where the only rule is your imagination. Even in the D&D rule book, it says these are just suggestions for how to play the game.
Yeah.
It's so they may say, oh, 4 to 6 people or, whatever like that. But really it's just however many people you want. I'm in a group right now where sometimes we play with 2 people. I've been in groups where we've played with up to 9 or 10,
Oh,
Okay. So
it's interesting. I've never played D&D before. I just wasn't sure how it worked.
You never played D&D before? Were you never fucking 13?
I was, but nobody played it. We played like Warhammer and stuff, as you know, but D&D never came up.
That shit's cool.
It is cool. But it never came up.
Well, do you have an imagination?
I have an imagination. I live most of my life in it, avoiding the real world.
Yeah. I mean, D&D is the greatest. Like, everyone's discovered a love for D&D now that COVID's, kind of put us all in our houses and we can't go anywhere. Everyone can kind of play D&D and we all can escape into a fantasy realm where COVID doesn't exist, but dragons do.
That sounds like fun. Though my wife would bully me if I played it, I think.
Yeah, well, you bully her back about something.
I could never bully her.
She does something.
Nah, she fucked me up.
No.
She's way too smart. She's way too quick. I get fucked up.
She's so brutal.
She is brutal. She's the most brutal person you'll ever meet. Okay, then. So let's end the podcast and we'll talk more about D&D off the air because now I'm interested in it.
Got to go watch a hockey game. Can't talk D&D right now, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, you go watch hockey. I'll go watch Best of the Super Juniors. And all you nice people, stay tuned by keeping it right, keeping it tight, and keeping it short.
Short.
Boom.
Handled. We fucking went off on
I was playing the music, but I had the sound down, so I could edit this out. Or I could just go ahead and fucking do this.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things, babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.